Hey everyone, this is Stephen. It's the 11th of January and we're truly out of the holiday season now and business is really picking up here. I'm sure you're starting to see that too. What better way to take advantage of the renewed demand than to get your very own chatbot in place and let it help you make more sales and cut down on customer service people hours in Q1 of this year. So an official welcome to FlowXO's Getting Started webcast, where we'll get you up and running with FlowXO with an introduction to its key features and benefits, specifically in relation to its broadcast service for marketing, its messaging service for contacting human agents in real time. That one's really important, human augmenting your bot for maximum effectiveness, and how to collect data through a conversational form. We'll be looking at launching a bot on Facebook Messenger and then launching access to the same bot as a custom widget on your website, as well as providing a full-fledged web messenger directly embedded in your own website or landing page. You'll see that a core strength of FlowXO is our cross-platform focus, where the web messenger is an extension of other messengers that you've launched your bot onto. Build a bot once and have it present everywhere. That's really powerful. If there's anything specific you'd like to see, just get into live chat now, drop a note into our community later. If you haven't been there yet, I'll give you some links for that at the end. Let's kick off first today just by taking a look at a bot that's risen the charts over at BotList. This is a phenomenal concept, I think. It's been on my mind to try it. I think there's a huge opportunity. Let's take a closer look. So, very simply here, if you imagine Tinder or any other dating app in bot form, I had to look up the meaning of peas and carrots, then realised it's from Forrest Gump back in 1994. This bot is a lot like Tinder in the few minutes I spent messaging it. I didn't get any matches, sad emoji, but it works largely the same as Tinder. Then hopefully allows you to break out and chat with another user if you manage to get a match. That sounds like dynamite to me. You know, Tinder, but on any platform, and you can create your own bot to fix dates for you. You can make contacts for you, set up dates, watch for matches arising, or anything like that. I think this concept's got a lot of leverage. All those dating apps are really just carbon copies of the aspirational bit of your Facebook profile. So I'm starting to wonder why Facebook haven't gone into dating properly themselves. They need to break it out into a separate portal probably, so some of those less flattering snaps are hidden, but the concept works in my mind. Obviously the bot would have some access to some Facebook or platform detail too, so matches can be verified and backed up by a profile. I think it's a big idea here and it's certainly food for thought. Take a look at this bot. It was as you expect at this stage in the game. There was a lot of spam. I obviously gave my picture as the comic book guy from Simpsons, but it's a bit of fun, and have a look and think where you might take it from there. Okay, by this point you'll have signed up for FlowXO, you'll have a FlowXO account and you've connected up your messenger bot. Let us know if you're having any trouble with that. Again, get into the live chat if you're watching on YouTube, or post a note in our community. Just a quick reminder, what is FlowXO? Well, you might be able to see just behind my head if I move over a little bit. It's the future of business messaging, and it must be true because it says it right there over my shoulder. In more direct terms, FlowXO is a complete platform for building, hosting and managing chatbots for messaging platforms such as Messenger, Slack and Telegram. Also SMS. It includes a visual editor to build bots without code. Everything is driven by a set of flows which you build out with certain tasks. You can create and distribute your own bots which are owned and branded by you but controlled and hosted by FlowXO. I'm running this cast live so that it can maximize your time and provide everything you need to get started right in this session. Let us solve any queries or give guidance you need right away. Down to business. Let's get onto my desktop. So my example business for today is the mortgage store, who are the home of the mortgage bot. The mortgage store are a typical mortgage broker, are regulated to advise customers on mortgage loans, and they have this Facebook page in place. They have a range of products available: first-time buyer, remortgage, buy-to-let or second home mortgages. Just a little bit more context, the mortgage store simply wants to communicate with customers better, provide a more engaging experience, divert basic queries away from their resource-intensive phone line, and ultimately write more business. If you got my email, you should have your bot in place by now, a messenger open and ready to go, as well as Google Sheets, Gmail, and of course FlowXO. We'll take a close look at that setup in just a few minutes, but first let's dive right in and take a look at the mortgage store bot in action. I'm going to launch him here into Facebook Messenger, but later we'll see how FlowXO is platform agnostic and easily accessible from your own web page, either as a widget directing out to Messenger and other platforms, or as a full-fledged web messenger. I'm going to launch him here so that you can see that clicking Get Started is going to give us some specific text to all new first-time customers. So you can see here, I'll click Get Started. That passes the Start keyword. And you can see right away here, he's trying to get us on track by giving us some option buttons. He's trying to fulfill his purpose and direct customers to the things that he can help them with. However, it's important he can handle some basic conversation. So let's say hello. And you can see he wants to get right to the point again. He greets us, but again, he wants to get right to the point. He diverts us to the menu, to the things he can handle. But I'm more interested if he knows his name. I'm going to be a little bit mischievous and type in a question rather than click for the menu that he's offered. Okay, so we can easily counter that too. And he's constantly directing us back into the bot's purpose through this menu, which is the whole point of having the bot out there. It's really simple to set up that basic conversational small talk and capture any and all things that are thrown at the bot. We'll look at some flows in a moment so you can see how easy it was to put that together. But just a final try here, just to stress the point. We'll ask him to tell us a joke. And he's handled that again. So we're not here to mess around, we're here to do business. So let's get on with it and click for the menu. So let's assume here in our case, I'm in Messenger as a customer of the mortgage store and I want an update on my mortgage inquiry. Whilst case updates could in fact be handled by the bot, I'm more interested in what the human broker has to say. I'm desperate to complete on a mortgage deal. So I'm going to select Talk to a Human, which is offered here. And unfortunately, we've run into a bit of a problem. We haven't actually built this flow yet. It's not in place. So we're now going to go and resolve that in FlowXO. So here we are at the Flow dashboard. Looks like my internet connection is just having a bit of a hard time of it at the moment. So you can see here, the bots, when I asked him to talk to a human, he's returned some standard helper text, unfortunately. It looks like that flow is not built. So let's go resolve that over in FlowXO. We're going to look now at how easy it is to resolve that. I'm going to put a flow in place to speak to a human agent. All I need to do is hit New Flow. I'm then going to choose Talk to a Human from the templates that are available, and instantly that's installed. All I need to do is look down the list here. You can see this red call out indicates that we've got some missing outputs that we need to resolve, so we'll go and do that. Replace this whole field with your email address. Everything else looks fine. We'll save. We'll turn this workflow on, and then instantly back in Messenger. This time when we select Talk to a Human, we'll be taken through the flow. And we're told, thanks, we got it. We're usually back within a few working hours. Now, just to demonstrate what's happening here inside this flow, I'm going to go up to Gmail now, and you can see that as an agent of the mortgage store, I've received an email into my inbox that's come directly from the bot, and there's the message that the customer sent to us. I'm now going to hit reply as the agent of the mortgage store. I'm replying here. You can see right there, sure, why not ask the bot for a quote? Now the human that's interacting here has sent this message from their email client directly into the messenger channel, and they've also offered this reply shortcut by virtue of this little tag here. So instantly now, as the customer, I can hit reply and maintain the thread of conversation with the human agent. Just an important note before we move on, I've used Gmail here. Importantly, I could have used Freshdesk, Salesforce Desk, Help Scout, or any other support or ticketing software where I can route emails. So in just a few minutes, minus my elaboration, we've got a fully human augmented bot in place by use of FlowXO templates. There's lots of templates here to explore, and we'll be looking at a few more in a few minutes. Okay, let's just maintain our thread of thought as the customer here. Let's make sure I've made the best choice before I commit to a deal and do what's recommended to me. Let's get another quote and stay on top of the market. So I'm just going to ask for the menu. And we'll hit get a quote. And unfortunately, you can see we've run into the same problem here again. This flow isn't built yet. It's not responding correctly. We're getting the standard text back. So we're going to go and resolve this again. But the difference this time is that we're going to build this flow together rather than rely on a FlowXO template. So you can see the flexibility of the platform. So this time, over in FlowXO, we're going to hit New Flow. And we're going to click Blank Flow. We'll call the flow quote. We're going to choose the bot, and we want a new message trigger, and we're going to trigger on the word quote. Just turn the workflow on at this stage. Now, to keep this interaction engaging, I'm just going to send a message back to the user right away just to let them know that the bot is alive, it's here, it is responding. We're going to send a message. Then we're going to ask a question. We're going to use a FlowXO output here. So you can see that these come directly back from Facebook, and we are going to give the username back directly by selecting from the list of FlowXO outputs here. And we're going to ask for the person's email address. Now I'm going to validate the answer they give me as an email. I'm then going to ask another question. We'll ask if we can take the mobile or cell phone number. We'll then ask one final question. Just going to use some pre-prepared text here just to show you how we can customize these messages. I want to insert an emoji here because we're asking a slightly more interesting question about the person's salary, so we're going to give them a thumbs up as well, and we need to make sure that we validate that answer as a number. Next, in this flow, what we're going to do is use a FlowXO helper task. So we're going to use the number service that FlowXO provides. And we're going to use the calculate action. Now the expression I'm going to use a FlowXO output again. I'm going to take the answer to that last question about the salary, and I'm going to multiply it by 4.5, which is a typical mortgage lending criteria. Now, before I do anything further, really important at this stage that I keep the user updated with what it is we're doing. So I'm going to instantly send a message back to the user. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Make sure that the conversation's engaging. And I have some pre-prepared text here again. I do need, however, just to change this little bit here to the result of our calculation. So we're going to give this person a quote at this stage based on the result of that number calculation that we made a moment ago in the previous task. We'll save that. The next thing we're going to do is use a FlowXO service integration. Now, just before we put this task in place, just a quick look at our Google Sheet. So I'm going to connect FlowXO here to Google Sheets, and you can see I have my sheet set up. It's got a row of data in it, and it's also got the row headings. That's really important. We must always start with a sheet that's got the row headings and a single row of data, and we're going to add into row 3 here all the details of the customer, both that we've managed to get from Facebook and that they give to us in conversation. So down at the bottom here, add our next task. And we're going to add a row to Google Sheets. Our spreadsheet was leads marketing messages. Our worksheet was new customer. Now here, all I need to do is use the FlowXO outputs again to populate those fields, to populate this row in the spreadsheet. First of all, I'm going to be getting the username directly from Facebook. The email was the answer to our first question. The mobile was the answer to our second question. Our salary was the answer to our third question. And the mortgage amount, you'll remember, was the calculation that we performed, the result of that calculation. Finally, just because this service is incredibly valuable to us, we're going to use the messaging service here. We're going to send a message to email, and remember, I'm going to use Gmail, but you could use absolutely any piece of software, any app where you can send an email to. So Help Scout, salesforcedesk.com, anywhere that you're managing customer tickets. This email is going to be about a new lead, and we're going to give their message, their details to the human agent of the mortgage store. Again, these outputs come directly from FlowXO. We're going to give the name of the person, and we're also going to indicate the size of the deal to the agent, which is again the result of the number calculation. So again, just to reiterate here what's happened, two things. Firstly, we're logging this new lead via our interactive conversational form. Now, I've used Google Sheets. Again, completely interchangeable there. You could use any CRM system. You could use a database. I'm just using Google Sheets because it's really easy to set up and great for this presentation. But talk to us about what you want to integrate, where you want to trap your customer data. And the next thing I'm doing then is I'm routing this hot lead directly off to an agent. I'm sending them a message to let them know that there's an agent, that there's a customer coming to the channel. They've asked for a quote, and that might be a good time to step in and try and close that deal. So let's run this flow, making sure we're turned on first, and we'll see how we get on. So this time I'm going to choose get a quote. And just wait for that to percolate through. So we'll give our email address. In fact, make sure we get that right. We'll give our cell number, our mobile number. We'll give our salary. There's the message back. We've performed the calculation and passed that message back to the customer, and we've also told them that we've passed the details to advisor and they're going to get in touch in a few minutes. Back over in Gmail again, there's the lead being routed through. I've got that information, and I can say now as the mortgage advisor, let me help you complete on this deal. Sending that back, it will be routed directly back into Messenger, as we saw before, and there it is. And obviously that message could be anything. We could add some shortcuts there as well, directing them back off to our website or whatever we want to do. We've got complete control over this conversation. The bot's doing the heavy lifting, taking care of the admin, and we're stepping in at the end to do whatever we want to do, redirect, or hopefully close the deal. Okay, so back into the customer's shoes. Let's imagine now I'm interested in getting some updates on the mortgage products I might eventually want to purchase. I know that interest rates move around a lot. The quote wasn't quite to my liking. I'm not ready to dive in just yet, but I might like to revisit when the rates are right for me. So let's just ask for the menu. And we'll click subscribe. So we're going to subscribe to the updates. We'll be asked which product we'd like to subscribe to regular offers on, and we're going to choose remortgage. So just to put that into context, let's go over to FlowXO. And now what we'll do is we'll take a quick look at the subscribe flow that we just ran. So like most flows, we're starting here with a trigger, with a keyword or phrase, which is subscribe, which was passed by that button we clicked. Next, we're going to ask that question. What is it you'd like to subscribe to? And we're using a choice type question this time and providing some options. The next thing we're going to do, now this is an exciting service with FlowXO. We're going to use the attribute service. Now attributes is a simple key value store in the background. Attributes can act like a counter, how many times somebody visited, or a flag, somebody said a specific word. You can see here that we're trapping in our defined product the answer to that previous question. So we're trapping the product type based on their answer. It's important to note that these attributes are specific to each customer, and it's based on the response path here. They're available in the trigger of every flow, and that's important in the next flow that we're going to look at. We're just going to send that message back then and say, thanks, I've subscribed you to our update on, and again the answer they gave us, which we set as the attribute. So the next thing we're going to do here is take advantage of Flowxo's broadcast marketing service, and you can see here that importantly straight away this trigger's filtered, and the reason for that is that this service is going to send to absolutely everybody that has the bot installed by default. That's great, of course. One trigger, like an email, a webhook, or an RSS feed being received, and all of our users and customers get the content. However, we need to make good use of Flowxo's filters in order to segregate our marketing and direct messages to relevant customers. So you can see here, when I edit this flow, I'm going to filter both on the product containing remortgage. Now this is data that comes from our trigger. We're going to use a webhook. This is data that I'm going to send in my webhook. But I'm also going to filter on the attribute of a specific customer containing remortgage. So here I'm using a webhook. If you haven't used these before, don't worry. I've used it here just to demonstrate how easy it is to get information into and out of Flowxo. You can get information from any web connected app. You can trigger a workflow and use that data that is sent from the app in your flow and therefore in the conversation with the customer. Of course, you can webhook out too. You'll be glad to know, however, that you can also trigger with an email or by consuming an existing RSS feed. You might already have one on your website. So let's just paste in that webhook. And you can see here straight away over in Messenger, I've received the offer through to my channel. Even better in terms of this service, you'll be glad to know that there is a template to manage this for you. So instead of setting it up like I did with a webhook, with just a few clicks, we can get an RSS feed in place. Let's do that now. We'll choose newsfeed. Just need to turn the flow on. It's installed for us. Just turn it on. Now this is a polling trigger, so it's going to go away and check our RSS feed every minute in this case to be able to pick up any news stories that are sitting on that RSS feed. And again, just as we saw before, send them through then to the bot. We're sending a card in this case with some detail. By default, we're just going to use, when you install this flow, we'll be using the BBC News website RSS feed. We might even get some stories posted through whilst we're in this webcast. So just a final review here in Flowxo and some finishing touches. First, here's the small talk and welcome and help flows. Those are both templates, so you can see when we were managing first of all that brand new customer coming into the account and clicking get started or passing the start keyword. This is a catch-all at the start of this flow. So if we don't trigger on any other flow, this flow will trigger. So it's looking for all the keywords or phrases that are said to the bot that we haven't managed with another flow somewhere else. So first of all, just looking for anything we don't recognize. That's a good indication that this is a new customer by virtue of filtering on start. Next, in this flow, we're going to use the code service. Now, the code service is a powerful way to do, well, whatever it is you want, really. It can make requests to other apps or services that Flowxo doesn't support natively, or it can perform custom manipulation or calculations on data, and it can use the output in conversation with the customer. We've used a really simple example here. I'm just parsing out the person's name from the full name that the platform has given us. So in this case it's Messenger. I'm just parsing out Messenger's full name of the user and repeating back to the person their first name. So really simple example there, but the options are limitless for that service. If you want to interact with your CRM that we don't support, your calling or dialer system or any other web connected app, you can do it with this service. Be sure to talk to us about that one to see how you can get the best out of it. And then we have a set of other things that are happening in this flow. We're just going to send messages based on only being shown on the first connection. So that's the hello and the greeting. Or in this case, if we don't recognize a word or phrase, we're going to give the bot's menu back to guide the user back to the right place. In our small talk flow, you can see here that I've captured lots of possible words or phrases, but I've also grouped them. This is going to make life easy. You see the groups here. So this will make life easy when I come to filtering further down in the flow. So I can filter based on the group name and respond in the same way to similar words or phrases. So really useful tool there. Just another note that this is a template, so you can put this in place and you can edit it as far as you see fit. So you don't have to build this all yourself. Just one click and you'll have all of this small talk in place. We'll answer questions like how are you, what's your name, tell me a joke, all those things that we saw at the beginning of this webcast. Okay, let's start to get this bot out there now that we've got all the flows in place that are important to us. So onto the web widget and web messenger as promised. First, the widget. I just need to hit create a widget here. Choose the bot that it's connected to. I'm going to click get code. That's going to present me with a little bit of code here. And all I need to do is put that into my website or into my landing page or anywhere where you're hosting some HTML above the final body tag on the web page. So if a web developer manages this view, that's fine. All you need to do is copy that code out and send it to him. And you can see here, we've got a little example of what's going to happen. When I click that, I'm able to launch directly into Messenger where we've seen the bot previously. And it's picked up the previous conversation that we were having. Just a little bit more exciting, however, instead of going to Messenger now, we're going to use the web messenger proper, the FlowXO web messenger. So in this case, we click new bot rather than create widget. And we're going to click the web messenger here. And we can upload our own icon, we're FlowXO, so we're going to leave it as is. We just need to give a name. Customized correctly, we're in the correct color scheme, we're not interested in any header text. I'm going to click next, and again similar setup here. You know now that you just need to copy this code out and paste it into your website, into your landing page or anywhere else that you host some HTML, or get your web developer to do it. And again, I can try down in the corner here. The difference this time is that we're going to launch directly inside of your own website in a bar just like this at the right of the screen. The big point here is that once we've built a bot and we've built all the logic out with flows, the bot is completely platform agnostic. So all we need to do is build it once and it's going to be present everywhere. So you can build one bot and all the relevant flows, and it's going to be present on Facebook Messenger, it's going to be present on SMS if you like, in Telegram, or directly inside your website. And every time somebody comes to one of those different platforms, it's going to be available for them to speak to, and it will remember their conversation eventually. Okay, let's talk about some next steps. You can see here that we have the basis of a really good bot. It's logical, it helps us out, it directs to a human when we want some extra help, and it's well distributed. We've got it as a web messenger on our website and also at Facebook Messenger, so people can always reach us whether on our Facebook page or directly at our site. We've got some marketing functions in place with that broadcast service, and we're able to point out options to brand new customers right away by directing them to that menu, and we're also directing them there when they don't understand a particular message, and we're able to respond to any little bits of small talk that they come and give us. We've also looked at data collection. That was really important, being able to trap data that's given to us. So with the attribute service, first and foremost, recognizing common facts about people, how many times they visited the bot, and what their product preference is. And we've also looked at capturing that data in a spreadsheet. And you can see that in 30 minutes, that's all it's taken to get this bot together. So this is it, crunch time today. I hope you've seen how easy it is to get started with FlowXO. You're ready to install some templates and start customizing those. You've probably got your own ideas about what you'll build next. Here's what our pricing looks like. So for only $19 a month, you can build out 15 bots or flows, and you can accommodate 5,000 interactions. There's no contract or tie-in period, so you can downgrade to a free plan at any time you like. Because you've been kind enough to watch today, I'd like to sweeten the deal a little bit. Here are links to the quote form that we built out together, so you can get that in place right away, and also that Google Sheet, so you can install it and you can launch that quote workflow and start capturing data right away. To get all of the flows in place that we've discussed today, you will need more than the 5 flows that are available in the free edition. So I'll also give you your first month free if you sign up today and you use the coupon code FREE0217. Just as an added incentive, some extra special news this week. If you use that coupon code right now, speak to me in live chat in a few minutes if you like, but if you use that coupon code right now, I'll also throw in a 15-minute Skype call within the next 7 days to really help you get your bot up and running. So speak to me about that in live chat or send me an email, and let's have a 15-minute chat once you've used the coupon to really get you going. It's not something that we offer very often, but I'm hoping to get some really great bots launched at the beginning of 2017, so please do talk to me about that. So with no time period, you can completely de-risk your own bot launch today if you'd like to. Don't forget, this video is going to be online for a short while later, so you can get those links if you need them. Finally, just a few resources to be aware of. There are extensive help docs at support.flowxo.com. Please do take a look at those. We have a lively community where you can discuss your ideas both with us here and the team at FlowXO and also other users. And we have a constructive blog at medium.com/FlowXO where we build out other use cases and release some of our updates as they go live. So thanks for watching, everyone. I've really enjoyed building out that bot with you today. Please get signed up and tell me more about your use case. I'm going to be on live chat now. I'd be delighted to help you get started building it out, building your own bot out. I'll be running this session weekly, so feel free to come and watch again if you like. The core content's not going to change, but if you have a specific case, perhaps we can build that into the session. I will be running another video series soon too. I'm going to be doing more casts, so watch out for those. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel to keep up to date with all the new releases and hints and tips. So get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. Remember, if you use the coupon today, we can get a 15-minute call booked in to discuss your bot and really get you started. See you all soon.